Many fans have debated how a fight between Dragon Ball's Goku and One Punch Man's Saitama would go, with valid points for each side. Son Goku, the Saiyan from the Sun, and Saitama, the Caped Baldy, are two of shonen anime's most famous icons, known far and wide for their unimaginable strength. Many fans have debated how a fight between these two would go, with valid points brought up from each side. Goku's supporters have a slight edge since Dragon Ball has far more information to pull from over its decades-long history. However, the first season of One Punch Man alone has enough material to convince Saitama fans that their resident superhero has the skills to topple an elite alien warrior like Goku. An analytical look at each combatant's prowess and experience will answer the question of who would win. But before that, we noticed that a lot of you are watching our videos and we hope you enjoy them, so please subscribe to our channel and help us get to 1,000 subscribers to bring you more content like this. The Dragon Ball franchise has become famous for its battles, starting with bombastic fights against martial arts masters and ending with bombastic fights against martial arts masters from other universes in Dragon Ball Super. Throughout his life, Goku obtained many power-ups and abilities on top of his natural gifts. For starters, as a Saiyan, Goku is inherently stronger and faster than the average human. Even as a child, he kept up with combatants more than twice his age. Saitama, despite his rigorous regimen, is still a human at the end of the day. Not to mention, Goku has multiple transformations at his disposal, like Super Saiyan God and Ultra Instinct, as well as his signature ki attacks. Goku has spent his entire life training and fighting opponents who far outmatch him, and he eventually surpassed every single one of them. Due to his love of fighting, he is always at peak condition from consistent eating and training. Everyone knows about the hyperbolic time chamber and the time he trained in a spaceship at 100 times Earth's gravity. Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super take their characters to many locations, like outer space, underwater, and even the afterlife, with enemies that call those places home. Though he may have had some help along the way, there's no denying Goku's impressive combat portfolio. Goku is the most storied protagonist among shonen protagonists, rivaled only by the likes of characters such as One Piece's Monkey D. Luffy, Naruto's Naruto Uzumaki, and Hunter x Hunter's Gon Freaks. He's accomplished many feats that, to most characters, both in and out of his series, would be considered impossible, but Goku's all about surpassing limits and doing what can't be done. Some notable achievements include running across the entirety of Snake Way, fighting toe-to-toe with a god of destruction, and beating the most elite warriors from 11 other universes in the Tournament of Power. Goku's accomplishments sound like they come straight out of mythology, and that's putting it lightly. In a world heavily populated with superheroes with highly varied powers, Saitama's abilities seem bland and basic by comparison. However, because he is so good at the one thing he does, many villains and fellow heroes are blown away by the sheer power he possesses despite his build and temperament. Simply put, Saitama's strength, speed, and reflexes surpass that of a normal human to an absurd degree, to the point where he can shatter Olympic records without breaking a sweat. Other than that, there isn't anything special about him. His power is that he does everything a normal person can do, but he does it much better. Saitama's appeal is how the most threatening and colossal foes crumple like a house of cards in a tornado against his fist, all while he wears a deadpan, disinterested expression. The man, in spite of his inane-sounding training regimen, has reached impossible levels of power. Saitama's most famous fights include the Deep Sea King, Lord Boros, and Garu, the first enemy managing to trounce many other heroes before Saitama came along. The last two were unique in that they managed to survive a single punch. Unlike Goku, Saitama's growth ended long ago. All that's left is to make a name for himself. As the protagonist of a comedy gag manga and anime, some of Saitama's feats are inherently more cartoony than Goku's. The author clearly wanted to push the absurdity of what he's capable of, almost to the level of early comic Superman. To Saitama, his strength is a curse as it removes any challenge from his life. Saitama has taken on enemies of all shapes and sizes, while barely batting an eye, and performing what are essentially miracles with little effort. Outside of fights, everyone remembers the time he destroyed a meteor, and when he survived on the moon for several seconds. Saitama is, without question, a god among men in his world. The fight would ultimately come down to who can last the longest, and Saitama is physically unmatched in every regard. A single punch would floor Goku, but the Zenkai boost may not be enough to help. Either way, the fight would be legendary, and when it's over, they'll shake hands and go out to eat like the lovable idiots they are. So who wins? On Goku's side, it's well known that Saiyans are one of the races in the Dragon Ball universe that can fight in space, as evidenced by video games and films. However, he can't breathe in space. Instead, he can fight and fly in Earth's outer atmosphere. Saiyans also receive what's colloquially known as a Zenkai boost, where their power increases when they're near death. On Saitama's side, he rarely ever fights seriously, and even his lazy punches deal massive damage. When he does fight seriously, his fists bring utter calamity. As strong as he is, he's not omnipotent. He still never killed that mosquito. One trait he and Goku share is becoming laser focused when a proper challenge presents itself. In all honesty, this is a fight that can go either way. Goku has his transformations and innate Saiyan traits. On the other hand, Saitama has overwhelming raw strength that, so far, surpasses anything the Saiyans can do. This matchup is too close to decide with absolute certainty. But, in all likelihood, Saitama would claim victory. There are other factors to consider that also play in Goku's favor. Saitama is unable to fly, or to use energy-based attacks as Goku can. Also, the Saiyan possesses greater combat experience, having constantly trained and battled with the most powerful warriors in the universe, while Saitama is unable to find anyone that can truly challenge him. However, for that exact reason, Goku's abilities always expressed at their maximum current level, while Saitama's lack of effort means that readers have no idea of his actual levels of strength. Every calculation presented above is obviously an approximation, as comic book characters rarely adhere to the laws of physics. But from what has been revealed in One Punch Man and Dragon Ball, it looks like Goku is superior to Saitama. Hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to KRTV Marvel.